Okay, my name is Chao Pan. I'm a researcher at MakerDAO. Maker is a platform for stability. At core, our core product is DAI. DAI is the first stablecoin on Ethereum. And the key thing to remember about DAI is one DAI is equal to $1. So there are basically two ways you can interact with DAI. The one way is that you can exchange, for example, your Ethereum or Bitcoin into DAI as a safe asset. So it's like a decentralized USDT. And also you can also deposit, you can put the Ethereum into the Maker system and create more DAI in the system and use this DAI to reinvestment. So in one word, DAI is the stablecoin for the blockchain. And so in one word, just like what is it on my t-shirt is, I'm not stable, but my DAI is stable. So the stablecoin DAI.
こんばんは。Let me try. 私はMakerDAOからチャオです。Okay, that is the only Japanese I know I learned today. So my name is Chao, and I'm from MakerDAO. I'm research there, and I am very excited to introduce Maker and the DAI stablecoin. So I like to walk, so I'll stay half time here and half time there, I guess. Okay, what is the main problem of the cryptocurrency? Let's do a quick survey. How many of you have ever have Bitcoin? Quite a lot. But how many of you have ever used Bitcoin to buy stuff? Not many people. Oh, because you have used Bitcoin to buy some illegal stuff, so you don't want to raise your hand. But that's okay. But the fact, right, all you Monero or something to more has more privacy. But the fact is that cryptocurrency hasn't been used as currency. Like we know the Bitcoin is originally designed to be a peer-to-peer e-cash system. So why? Why hasn't it been used as a currency for the daily use? Anyone has idea? Okay. Volatility is on the next slide, so I'll come to that later. So the speed and also transaction fee is an issue. So you don't want to spend several dollars to buy coffee, but to pay several dollars transaction fees. But suppose we are rich because we are all blockchain companies. So we don't care about the transaction fees. And we want to buy a brand new car. Would you use Bitcoin? Probably not the best option, right? You don't want to sell your Bitcoin and to buy a car, but if the price of Bitcoin just raised up 20% tomorrow. And as a receiver, you don't want to receive the Bitcoin, but the price of Bitcoin dropped 20% in the next day. And it all happened in the past. So looks like the price volatility of Bitcoin, Ethereum is the main issue here. So I come from an econ background. So in the past, I used to use the data to tell people, say, look at that, look at the standard deviation and the value at risk of Bitcoin, Ethereum. But the typical answer from people is that, whatever, my crypto is still going to the moon. So it didn't go well. But I think now, even without the data from the past 2-month experience, I think people have this deep feeling about this volatility when the market was crashing. So Maker is a solution to that. So Maker is a platform for stability. And at its core, we have the stablecoin DAI. So I may not be stable, but my DAI is. So the DAI is the first decentralized stablecoin on Ethereum. So how do we achieve that? And also, if you don't remember or forget everything I said in this event, here's one thing you should remember. That is, one DAI is equal to $1. So how do we make that happen? So DAI is a asset-backed hard currency. What I mean by that is that DAI is always over-backed, over-collateralized by some valuable asset. Now it's over-collateralized by the Ethereum. And in this summer, we are going to launch the multi-collateral DAI, which will accept the tokenized gold as one of these hedging assets. So, and also to introduce other, starting with ERC token, those assets to back the stablecoin more. So if you are just a normal user and you don't like the USDT, of course no one likes USDT. So DAI is a good alternative. You can just, well, even as a matter of fact, so the Bitfinex, the exchange that is backing the USDT, even they listed DAI as a trading pair on Bitfinex. So you can exchange a Bitcoin or Ethereum into DAI. And also if you are a decentralized exchange lover, DAI is listed on many decentralized exchange as a quote currency, the base currency. So, and also Maker just launched the Oasis Direct, where you can exchange your Ethereum to DAI instantly without registration and has zero fee. And by the way, DAI is already on the market since the last December. So, but DAI is even more powerful than the USDT because you can create DAI, which means you can have more money. So as I said, that DAI is fully decentralized, which means that everyone can create DAI by putting your asset into the collateral. So suppose, okay, so by doing that, you put your digital asset like Ethereum into the smart contract. Basically, you lock your Ethereum there. And the smart contract, we call that collateralized debt position. Or, let's see, 担保自己 Simon position. Okay, not too bad, right? Okay. Okay, so the way you do it is that you just put Ethereum into the smart contract, and your Ethereum will get locked, and your Ethereum is still there. But now you can issue DAI against your Ethereum. And you can use this DAI, you can think about DAI as a US dollar, and use this DAI to do investment or to buy more Ethereum and earn more money, probably in form of the DAI or in other form. And later, when you want to get your Ethereum back, you just pay back your principal and plus a small amount of fee in MKR, which is the second token in the Maker system, which I will talk about it later. So, and you get your Ethereum back. And also with some profit you may have earned during the process. So one analogy is that is quite similar to the mortgage loans. So you borrow money with a mortgage from the bank by securing a house. Here the house, you can think about house as Ethereum. So, and later, so you got the loan from the bank, and later you repay your debt plus the interest to free your house, to get your house back. So here the debt is a DAI, and the interest is the stability fee that paid in MKR. And also a easier example, you can think about Maker as a shijiya, a pawn shop. So you can borrow money from the pawnbroker by securing your valuable asset, right? Like the iPhone X. So you just put the iPhone X in the pawn shop, and the pawn shop will give you a loan. And also, later, when you want to get your iPhone back, you just pay back the loan plus interest to get your iPhone back. So you can think about loan as a DAI and the interest as the stability fee in the Maker system. So later when I have time, I will show the real demo with the real money of the process, how you can do this. So it's gonna, I'm gonna do that. So also this means that you can do decentralized margin trading. I don't know how to say that because it's a very long word in Japanese. But basically, what the mechanism is, again, this is for the advanced user. This is for users who are creating DAI. It's actually borrowing DAI from system. If you just want to use DAI as a stable coin, as a decentralized USDT, you can just buy it at Bitfinex or other exchange as the stable coin. Here you're actually creating DAI, you're borrowing a loan. So you can just pull the Ethereum into the CDP, the collateralized debt position, and issue DAI against it, and use this part of DAI to buy more Ethereum and to do this until you reach a margin. Now it's about 2 to 3 margin ratio. And the one thing about this decentralized margin trading that is it has a much lower cost than the traditional margin trading platform. So now the annual interest rate is 0.5%. So it's really low, comparing with 7% and 9% in the traditional margin trading platform. So as you may have noticed, like there are more value in the collateral than the outstanding DAI, because the system have to make sure that the DAI is always overbacked, it's over-collateralized. So it's fine if the value of the collateral goes up, because now the DAI will be more backed. So there's be no problem. But if the price of Ethereum dropped, if the price of collateral dropped, that could potentially cause some issue. So the system have to deal with it. So if the price of Ethereum dropped below the liquidation ratio, currently is 150%. So this collateral will be sold at discount for the DAI. So someone else can pay this amount of DAI, let's see 185, this amount of DAI, and buy cheap Ethereum from your position. So they can only use this amount of DAI, but get something around this value of Ethereum. And the rest will go back to the original owner. And also there's a penalty fee in the system. So recently there was, because last month the crypto market was crashing, and there was a 4 million US dollar position got liquidated. And actually that was a huge opportunity for people to liquidate this, because you can make profit by doing this. So these people are the keeper of the system, and everyone can become a keeper by and earn this 30% discount in the system by liquidating other asset. This is basically like the margin call in the current, the same concept. So, of course, you may ask, what if the value of the collateral dropped dramatically? Let's see the value of the Ethereum drop to $10. Of course, if that is very unlikely, because if that happened, you guys will be not listening my talk now. You are going to pull off your cell phone and log into the exchange and buy the cheap Ether, right? But it could potentially happen. That is what we call the black swan event. Actually now, the system is quite robust. So with the current collateralization rate, the system can withstand 70%. Actually, it's more about 80% sudden market crash, because it can only cause problem if there's a sudden market crash. I go to the other side to have some balance. So here's the DAI dashboard. So as you can see that we have over 300 collateralization ratio. So which means that one DAI is backed more than $3. So the DAI is quite healthy. And also you can see all the record on the DAI dashboard system, the panel. So it's all on blockchain, so everyone can audit it. So it's totally transparent comparing with USDT, the Tether, which people accuse most. And also, since DAI launched, so the last December, okay, the crypto market had been through the major crash, like several crash, and it has been become a good opportunity for us to do the pressure test actually. And DAI remained actually very stable during the crash. So there are some outliers in some exchange that the price of DAI shoot up to 1.1, and that is also a good opportunity for the arbitrager, because you can create DAI in the system and to earn money from that. And actually, I think myself generate some DAI and pump down the price and earn some profit by doing so. But fundamentally to solve this problem, this risk of the black swan event, we need to diversify the asset. That's what I mentioned early on about the multi-collateral DAI. So you need to have this diversification to reach a low variance collateral portfolio. So as I said, in this summer, we are going to launch the multi-collateral DAI, which will include the tokenized gold as a very good hedge asset, and also other assets. The fundamental goal is to make sure the DAI remains stable, the underlying asset remains valuable, even though the crypto market crash. So also we have the Maker as a dealer of the last result, because I'm running out of time, so I will speed up a little bit. So the Maker is the governance. Anyone have some? Anybody have Maker here? Okay, probably I should fire myself for not doing marketing well. Okay, so Maker is a governance token and is also as a dealer of the last result in the system. So the MKR holder comprise a decentralized governance community. They can manage the risk of system. They decide which kind of asset can be used as collateral. And also when the financial crisis happened, which is very unlikely to happen, but it has very small chance, the Maker will be diluted and to fill the gap, like what the central bank do during the financial crisis. But of course, no one would like to buy a token that could potentially be diluted. So so the good part is that, as I said, that you need to pay a stability fee in the system. And this fee has to be paid in MKR. So, and this part of MKR will be burned. So the supply of MKR over the time will be decreased. So which means that the holder of the MKR will have a continuous cash flow. So here's a recap of the whole system. So the underlying asset, the CDP, gives value to the DAI and also act as a first layer guarantee. So, and the holder of MKR, they manage the system by setting those risk parameters. And also in return to the services, they earn the stability fee. And also they act as a second layer guarantee. Of course, we have other measures to alleviate the risk, for example, global settlement. If you are interested in that, you can talk with me during the break. So actually, I have other stuff, but I don't have time. So there are some use cases. You can just we can use incorporating DAI with Raiden to preload the channel with the DAI and to reduce the on-chain fees. And you can have an instant payment for this, and you can actually use cryptocurrency to buy coffee now without considering the speed and volatility. And also, yeah, it's all value, so better than USDT. Okay, and also you can use DAI as a loan, as I explained. There are some people. There's a man called PJ from District 0x team. He can't get a loan from banks, but he has lots of Ethereum, but he didn't want to sell Ethereum. Of course, if you see the bright future of Ethereum, who is going to sell it? But he needed the money. So when he saw the DAIs launched, he locked up his Ethereum and issued DAI and used that to buy the car. So this picture is actually sent by him. So I think that's it. And also you can have better ICO. You can just search DAICO. And also we have a fund with other team. Okay, I think that's it. And for those who are interested in how to generate DAI in the system, actually I was about to show the demo, but I don't have the time. But thanks for listening, and that's it. Right.